This video intended for educational purposes. Hey guys, it's Adam aka Swimming Bird, and welcome back again to another Minecraft Snapshot. This is 13W1A. That's right, no more 12W, we're into 2013. And this is for 1.5, the Redstone update, and there is a ton of stuff. This is one of the biggest weeks we've had in a long time. So let's get into it. And I have to look down, and then there we go. I got this pointed. I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm just going to grab all the new items out of this chest here, and, uh-oh. I just blew up all the new stuff. Okay, so this is the first new item that I want to show you guys. That was just a little trap there. This is the trapped chest. And you craft that with a normal chest and a tripwire hook. Now you can actually see that the trapped chest is slightly different looking if I grab a regular chest. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil too much there. Yeah, so you can see the red around it. That's how you know the difference, so you got to be a little careful with these. But you don't have to use them for traps, even though they have that name. As you can see faintly there, it lights up this redstone. It has a redstone signal that's very faint that comes out of it. But the redstone signal will be stronger depending on how many players have opened the chest at that time. So you can set up stuff like this. I'm going to try to get in this chest, and an arrow just shot out of that dispenser at me. It's kind of hard to hide these, as you might have seen over here. I had to put a grass block here to like hide the signal underneath. But you can put it like this and have a repeater pretty quickly to strengthen the signal, and it'll go a little farther. But yeah, this is going to be very interesting for traps and stuff like that. And in general, redstone is more consistent, and pistons are more stable in this update. Now, did you notice also all those little, I'm sure some of you probably saw something was up with the normal chest being placed next to it, because normally you can't do this, but because these are different types of chests, you can place them right next to each other. Also, you might have seen the red coloring and all that stuff, and the suspicious looking wooden wall. But let's move on to something everyone has been waiting for like a year now at least, the redstone block, which is crafted using 9 redstone. Now, this is a very easy way to compact your redstone, but it also acts like a pushable redstone torch. So if I hit this, bam, it powers this light, which is pretty awesome. I built this little Tetris game just to give you a nice look at how the redstone block looks compared to the other ones. And I think it looks pretty cool. It's almost like a red slime or gelatin. It's kind of cool looking. But yeah, it is a new way to store and signal redstone. Now over here, you can see a ton of these. You're probably like, what the hell is this funnel thing? This is the hopper, and if I pick it, you'll see that it is just a work in progress right now. The hopper is used to drop items into it, or you could put a chest above it, as up here, and whatever is in there will travel through and go in. So I can just throw like a chest in this one, and the chest has gone into the furnace. And this works for furnaces, chests, brewing stands, dispensers, and all 3 types of minecarts. It does not yet work for jukeboxes or ender chests. Hopefully those are added in the future. I really want to be able to just throw a music disc in here and have it play in the jukebox. So what if we have a stream of these? You can see that these hoppers are directed into the next one. It goes towards the block that you place it, or the next hopper. And if I go up here and just throw this gold helmet in there, it'll very quickly travel through, and here it is in this furnace. And if you put a stack in, you can see these, oops, didn't mean to do that. You can see these quickly start to disappear as they travel through the hoppers and go one by one. So I'll put this whole netherrack stack in there, because netherrack, you want to put that in a furnace, or maybe you don't. But we'll get back to that later. Okay, so yeah, that's the use for these hoppers. They're still being worked on, but they move stacks slowly. This would be very good for people who use mob grinders, because you can just like funnel stuff in there. One of the weird things is if you throw an item into the hopper and it goes in the normal minecart, it can throw a couple items in here actually, and they'll all go into this normal minecart, and then when I break it, they drop out. So minecarts aren't supposed to store items normally, but right now they do. That's probably a bug, but that's still pretty cool. So yeah, that is the hopper. That will probably change a bit before it's out, because it doesn't even have a recipe that I know of, or a text or a little sprite. So let's move on. You can see I've used these redstone blocks to light these lamps. Now we have 2 new types of pressure plate. These are the weighed pressure plate, the light and the heavy. Now you just craft these as shown with gold and iron. Now these you cannot step on to trigger. Both of them will not be triggerable that way. You need stacks of items. So if I throw a stack of items on here, you could just throw like one item on here and it will still power it a little. But if you want to power it to full, for the light one you need a whole stack, and it will power all the way up if it actually stays on there. There we go. Now that's fully powered. But for the heavy one, you actually need 10 stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now that is fully powered. So yeah, these are just going to be ways I think people will be able to trigger stuff with their new hoppers to tell when like a certain amount of items have been pressed. Or you could set it up where it's like an adventure map, you need a certain amount of items to progress. But yeah, that's how these new weight pressure plates work. Now, speaking of stacks of items, there's a ton of new inventory management stuff. Let me just get rid of most of this. Look at all these anvils I got. Jeez. I'm going to close that out. Okay, so say you've got a very disorganized chest. Now, what are you going to do? The first thing you can do, I've got so many nether stars, I don't know what to do with them. I've killed so many withers. Now, if you double click on any item, it will stack up as much as it can into one stack. So I can quickly just stack these all together. Very organized. Now, if you pick up a stack and drag it, it will divide that item in half as many times as it can into as many stacks, as you can see here. And if you pick up a stack and you right click while you drag it, it will just drop one in every slot that it goes through. Some very useful stuff. Now if you are crafting, let me just quickly stack these up too, just to show you I've got so many diamonds. So if you're crafting something and you have a bunch of items and you're for some reason you're using flowers and jukeboxes, now you can shift double click on any of them to get them back into the inventory there from the crafting window. And now if you have a bunch of stacks of these, like say I've got even more jukeboxes and they're all over the place, if I shift double click them when they're in the inventory, they will all go up to this corner up here. So it's just a lot of ways to quickly manage your inventory now. So you probably want to see the new ore, right? That's one of the biggest draws in Minecraft for people. They always want new ore. Don't want to spoil this stuff. I'm just going to go straight into the nether. Bam, and it's instant because I'm in creative. Okay, so here we are, and this is the new ore. This is nether quartz, and you can see it here. It looks a lot like netherrack, but has these kind of slashes through it with the quartz. And this is used to craft some of the new items that I'll get into in a little bit. When you break it with a pick, you can use any type of pick, and it will drop one nether quartz. So let me just show you what nether quartz looks like. Here we go. Oh, tricked you again. This is actually another trapped chest, but I will actually show you what nether quartz looks like. So this is the nether quartz right here in my hand. You get one per block, as I said. They actually seem to spawn pretty frequently. As you can see, there's a couple veins already. There's one there. I think I saw some more over here. But yeah, they seem to be pretty frequent, so it's not going to be hard to get a hold of this stuff. But yeah, they're going to be used for some new items, so let's head back out of the nether and I can show you that stuff here. Now, before I do too much, I did want to show you, probably glimpse this. Now, if you take this lava here, and I hinted at this earlier, sort of badly, if you smelt netherrack, you actually get nether brick now. So there's a use for that. Tons and tons of netherrack people have accumulated from just digging in the nether. Now this nether brick you will craft like so, like you would the clay bricks, and you get a nether brick block, so you don't have to depend on strongholds or nether fortresses anymore to get nether brick, which is pretty awesome. Now, let's move on to the Daylight Detector. This is the first thing that uses quartz. It's arranged here. You can use any type of wooden half block. It doesn't have to be the plain one. And you put glass and quartz, and you can make this Daylight Detector, which this doesn't seem that useful, because why would we need light when it's day? Well, you can invert it, as I have done over here. So this will only activate at night. And it can activate any redstone thing. It doesn't have to be lights. Now this time here, 13,650, if I set it to that, you will see these guys set off. So let's do that. Time set. I think I still have it here. Yep, there we go. We'll have like 1 second, and then these will activate. A little longer than 1 second. But yeah, so this is a design I saw on Reddit by Ryan0788. During the day, this piston is pushed down, keeping the redstone block away, but at night it contracts it. I just threw these pressure plates on to make it look a little cooler, and it'll light up stuff. So there's lots of new ways that you can just invert these and do different stuff to make it so that when night comes, you will be able to light up your area. But yeah, you can use it for other stuff too, probably for farms and stuff to detect when daylight comes. It's based on the sun's position, so it's pretty easy to set up. Now, it doesn't take very many materials either. So we're going to move on to the comparator. Now this is the last thing, and it's the second one that uses quartz here. Let's just set it back to day. And the comparator is a little confusing. So this is how you craft it. Smooth stone, quartz, and 3 redstone torches. And this is what it looks like. You can toggle it on and off. Now this is the part I do understand. So signals can come in from the sides, and you can see here, this redstone block, I don't have to use that. I can use a torch, but it has the same signal strength as a torch, but you can see this. So this is the way the signal needs to come in, and if you have a signal on the side here, this one needs to be equal to or greater for the signal to go through. So if I just took this and moved it up to be equal with this, bam, the signal goes through. And they can kind of act as like very quick repeaters. They don't really extend the signal, but it'll go through it like super quick. If I just like activate this, bam, it goes through like instantly, just like redstone would. Now the other parts of it I don't quite understand. There's a lot of like math that seems very complicated. Dinnerbone even seemed very confused. He tweeted a bunch of times saying it was broken, and then it wasn't, and then it was broken, and he messed up his math there a little bit. But yeah, I understand this bit of it, but yeah, when I understand this better in the future, I will let you guys know and give you a better rundown of it. But right now it is for the people who are more versed in redstone, I believe. So don't worry too much about that. That is basically it for the snapshot this week. This is the first one for 1.5. We already have a ton of stuff. So redstone blocks, daylight detectors, all this stuff, the hoppers, the trap chests, it's all really cool, and I'm very excited for 1.5. Hope you guys are too. Leave a like if you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time, hopefully next week, for a ton more 1.5 stuff. Who knows what they're going to add? We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.